Hello and welcome to the show. I am back on Automation. It's been some time since I've played this game with a kind of challenge. I am going to try and build a 60s Le Mans car, having been messing around with the GT40s and the 330 P4 and that kind of era of a race car on Forza. I fancied having a go at trying to build something that would have rivaled those sorts of cars. So we're going to go back to 1967. Seems as good a year as any, and I'm going to try and, build a car. As far as body styles go, we've really got two options, I think, over all of this. We've got the 60s convertible, the 65 coupe. Now, I think it tends to be with the vehicles. I guess we could go for the 65, that sort of coupe. Now, with the convertibles, there will probably be a hardtop version, so I might have a go. I mean, that's very much a DT Motor Pantera. That is literally Pantera, that one. This, we might have a go with, because I'm hoping there will be a body style that will, not have a convertible roof. Now, we want it to be light. We want the vehicle to be light. We're not really worried about cost in this. It's a Le Mans race car. It's going to be horrendously expensive, so we don't really care if it is expensive. We can have a space frame. Yeah, we'll go for a space frame. We'll go for kind of along the lines of the birdcage, not really quite along the lines. It's a start. Not quite as crazy as the Maserati, but it'll do. Chassis material has to be of steel. They're the only things. I've set the year to 67, so we've only got the technology that was around then. We have front transverse, front longitudinal, would make sense. We want suspension-wise to be as sporty as possible. So, yeah, we're going to have the double wishbone, I suspect, because all of these are kind of much more heavy-duty suspensions, not going to be good for a race car. So, yeah, double wishbones all around. There we go. That's what we wanted. So, yeah, we can kind of have... it's a fairly Z style body, or we can go for one without the light indent. No, I think I prefer the ones with the light indent. Oh, that's not the button I wanted to press. And then I assume that the convertible, there we go, yeah, so the convertible options, you can have the convertible one as well. Quite a lot of different sort of varieties of this basic body style, but yeah, we're going to want... But it's good for aerodynamics as well. Let's face it, we want the sleekest of bodies. That will work quite nicely. And naturally, we are going to... I don't quite know what's going on with the paint pictures. They got a little bit weird, but either way it's going to have to be orange, and I'm relatively happy with that shade of orange. That will do. Now we are probably going to want to give the vehicle decent size wheel arches, because we are going to want big tyres on the vehicle. We're going to want decent amount of tyre width. So yeah, we'll hopefully be able to get a decent handling car as well. While I guess kind of, ooh, this is new. This is new indeed. Oh, we can actually restrict fixtures. So I guess 67, sure. That's interesting. Yeah, that is definitely new from the last time I played it. I mean, it makes sense that we're going to have, of course, circle headlights, in the holes for the headlights to go. Oh, can we... Okay, so the game has a little bit of a dislike for trying to put these in, which is strange. You would have thought it'd been relatively happy with us putting in, circle headlights into a circle gap on the vehicle. It's doing something a little bit weird, I think. Well, maybe because they're too large, possibly? Okay, it's not overly keen on the headlights for whatever reason. That's right. I mean, I would expect that to, work fine on the car. There we go. It wants these ones in it. Sure. Oh. Was that really doing what I thought it was doing? I think it was. That's not quite what I want. It's like a cartoon. It's like a cartoon where the character's surprised and the eyes have jumped out of the head. Of all the things to be doing, game, have a guess where I might want the headlights to be. Just to take a sneaky suspicion as to where the headlights might possibly be wanting to go there. I don't think I can shunt it back manually, which is really annoying. Okay, so that doesn't work. That really doesn't work. Let's go back to trying these again. Apparently this is the most difficult thing imaginable, is putting circle headlights in circle gap. That will do, okay? That's just going to have to do on the car, because we're not going to be getting any better than that. Grill! Now we are going to need a decent amount of cooling. We need reliability in our vehicle. There is no question about that. So we are going to want a good amount of cooling on the car, because of course when it comes to Le Mans racing, comes to endurance racing, we're going to need a reliability. I don't know, I can't remember the reliability kind of factors and the scores and quite how all of that works, but we're going to try and make the vehicle a decent amount in terms of reliability. It's actually a really awkward car to work on with the way that the front end kind of curves around. Did not expect the body of this car here to be such a pain in the arse. That kind of looks like a shark. I like it. we will have a sharky race car. Can we? Oh, we give it a nose as well. This has gone very much down the wrong direction of having a of a race car. I'm now just making it a little bit silly. This is what happens when I bloody make cars on this game. We literally just end up making silly vehicles. It doesn't start out initially to be silly, but it just kind of happens that it ends up being a ridiculous looking vehicle, and then I kind of quite like the shark front. Kind of quite like the shark front end on this. We shall call it the Tiger, I think. That will do, and because it's orange as well, that works perfectly. We'll have the Tiger, and this would be going up against the GT40. It better have a good engine. That's what I'm going to hope with. Can we get any vents in a... yes, we can get vents sort of up around here. Just trying to give it something a little bit more interesting down the sides of the vehicle. At the back, in fact, we could, take some inspiration from the GT40. Not that it really would matter having great big sort of cooling things back here, because of course this is going to be a front-engined car. However, I'm sure we can't have mid-end. It might just be the body style, actually. Let's face it, that we can't. As to why we can't have a mid-engined vehicle. I imagine it probably would be, to be honest. Do we go for another kind of vent around in this corner? Nah. No, we won't have that one. Scoop? Nah, let's not bother with scoops. We won't have... we can have... I don't think the wings currently work. I did actually see there's a bunch of mods now for wings that I will probably try at a later date on here. We'll build something with a mighty wing. We need somewhere to fill the car up with fuel. So, there we go. Door handles would be helpful for getting in and out, especially in an endurance race car. Actually, what would be... Okay, all of these are just kind of generic. I'm just curious. Shall we go for something different? Don't think I've actually seen these door handles before, so they're kind of sizable. No, a little bit too giant, I think. For this, we need something a little bit more, and I'll do the trick. Sure. Oh, of course, I've got to remember, click that. Oh, no, don't want that there. Up there, and then remember to click the tick. That tends to help. Perfect. Mirrors. Now, oh, bloody hell, there's a lot of wing mirrors added since last time. We could have, like, wing mirrors on scaffolding, if we want, sticking out the side of the car. Don't actually look too terrible. Or we can go for, I guess, these sort. Oh, wow, they are tiny wing mirrors. They are ridiculously tiny. Okay, we might need them to be a little bit bigger. You need to actually be able to see something. Maybe not quite that large, but you definitely need to be able to see something. I know, race cars don't want to have massive wing mirrors. It ruins the aerodynamics. But you do, again, when you're racing, need to be able to see around you. So, sure. There we go. That'll do the trick. Hopefully a little bit aerodynamic as well. What else might we need? Don't need number plates on the car because it is a race vehicle. We can grab some exhausts. Do we want a couple of exhausts? Probably. There we go. I'll grab a couple of exhausts for the back of the car. Right. It looks a little bit silly, but Tiger, I think, is ready for an engine. It might simultaneously be my favourite and one of my worst built cars. Yeah, ooh, we can have Oh, do we have a badge with a tiger emblem? Not really. No. There's kind of in all of that lot. There's a lot more badges have been added again since. Aha! There we go. That looks like. Oh no, that's like a hunting dog or whatever. There's a lion in all of that lot. Damn it! Do we not have? There's a bunch of Greek mythology, Spartan stuff going on in here. That's gonna have to do. It's close enough, okay? That can sit on the bonnet. Voila. Okay, let's move on. Engine time. Yes, the most important thing of all. Do we go for a V8 or V12? Let's go V8. We'll go the Ford route rather than the Ferrari route. Aluminium, of course. How bigger an engine do we want to get? 5 litre? Yeah, we'll probably go a little bit bigger. In fact, if we'll go for a kind of high revving 5 litre is the plan here. We'll get oh bloody hell. Okay, there we go. 5 litre, and hopefully we can get a decently higher. Maybe not the cleverest idea, but we'll give it a try. We'll go for 4 overhead cams. Again, aluminium. We can apparently do it for this era, so we shall. We're going to want forged steel because we're going to want as much power and torque as we can get. Heavy duty forged or lightweight forged? Do we want RPM or do we want torque, actually, come to think of it? Having a really high revving engine may not be the best for reliability, but we'll go with high revving for the moment. It might have to change, but we'll go for that for now. Excellent. We'll come back to all of the compression and cam profile at the end. It has to be naturally aspirated. Damn it, we can't go for like a an era-breaking turbocharge. Although, to be fair, you say era-breaking, like they were using superchargers in the 20s, so yeah. Right, 4-barrel carburetor, I think we will go for. We'll go for twin carburetors, of course. It'll be a race intake. But we can go for all of the race parts on this, well, because it is going to be a race car. Apparently, it wants this to be all-wheel drive? Huh. The engine's too tall to go in the car? We'll deal with that. Current engine does not fit. Decrease the engine size or use another engine. Okay, so the engine is too tall. We might actually have to physically make the engine a little bit smaller. Okay, might not be able to rev quite as high then. I don't know why all-wheel drive it would be okay to fit in the car. Huh. Okay, well, that's something that we'll have to deal with later on. Race, everything. None. We're not having... Ooh, it blows up, basically, immediately. Okay, I was going to actually have a look at the exhaust before we do all that. There we go. You've got to love the knot for the exhaust. So I do like the race exhausts on here. It's just, that is a fantastic piece of artwork right there. It is an incredible piece of artwork. Right, so the engine was exploding basically with knock, wasn't it? Okay, so we can probably ramp this all up now. What is it that gives out on this? What can we change? What can we do? Can we go for... There we go. Let's get a bit richer fuel mixture. We can probably get away with maybe a little bit. Only about 325 horsepower, which isn't a great amount of power in this. I guess we can probably yank that up a little bit. RPM limit, it will survive about 5,700 RPM, which is not too shabby. Exhaust diameter, can we do much? No, I can't really do a huge amount with this. Right, what are our options here for stuff? Maximum... Okay, so maximum power is... okay, so DCOE. I don't actually quite know what that means. However... haha! Okay, hold on, go away screen. DCO... right, okay. I don't know much about carburetors when it comes to these. Oh, it doesn't fit in the engine. How does this not fit in the engine? Do we have to go make it smaller again? Oh, this bloody engine is a nightmare. Okay, so there... No, it really wants it to be a tiny little engine. I guess we're going to have to go for more torque then. Still want the 5 litre, but we are going to have to go... Right, so we're going to try lowering the RPM, which was in here. Just bring that back up again. Okay, well, the good news... Oh, high RPM pistons. What's wrong with the pistons? Ah, crap. We don't really quite have... Maybe if we can... Okay, this is a race car, remember. Let's not forget, this is a race car, so we can kind of throw a little bit of caution to the wind and just go throw quality at it. Yeah, just make some really, really good quality pistons, and then we should be good. Right, we can get up to 404 horsepower. 410 was around about there. We can push it a little bit further. Not that far, though. 410 horsepower. What else can we change? Can we? Oh, no, definitely can't go any more on the compression. Yeah, 411 is what we got. Oh, 412 is good. Cam profile, we can go greedy up to 422 horsepower. We are still a little bit down on the Ferraris of the era. I'm going to be honest, we are a little bit down on all of that. None of these are going to give us any better. I wasn't expecting them to, but check through here. I don't think we can do much more with that. If we up that any more, no, we're at 420. And can we do anything with the exhaust? Slightly retweaking the exhaust, we can get it to 426. Okay. Okay, 400. Okay, it's not a terrible engine. It's not a terrible engine in all of this. Let's go and give it a quick test. Oh, I forgot how loud automation was. Very loud is the answer here. It's not a bad sounding engine. I will give it that. Where's the reliability? Noise is very, very noisy. I think the reliability. I don't know if that's 27 out of 100 or quite what the scale is. It definitely sounds the part. It definitely sounds the part. Okay, we'll take that engine. We'll take that engine for now, and we're going to see what we can do. Do in here. Longitudinal rear-wheel drive. We're having, of course, manual gearbox. Do we keep it sort of period-specific? I think so. Estimated top speed is only 158 miles an hour. I don't think this car is aerodynamic enough. I don't think this car is aerodynamic enough. Unless we... we want... I mean, we don't really want an open differ tool on here. But we don't want a manual locker. That's for off-roading. Automatic? Sure, maybe. If we should test something out. Yeah, okay, so if we up the quality, estimated top speed is not fast enough for this. It is definitely not fast enough. I guess, okay, admittedly it is having the car based upon being a road car, but of course the vehicle being on the slick tyres. Magnesium wheels, sure. Oh, I forgot, I can never figure out how to get these wheels to go to decent sizes on here. We could try a diameter. Actually, the tyre diameter makes a huge difference. Oh, okay, it does a little bit. We put that. Yeah, so we put that up. That's unhappy. But if we then, okay, no, we definitely don't want to do that. So that's yeah. It just doesn't like. Go back to 14, and then I think it's only 215s all round. Okay. Stick with that a little bit more. It looks the part. I will give it that. Solid discs all round. We are going to want decent size discs indeed. We are going to, of course, be having very much race parts on the car. Right. Let's have a look at doing... I can't really do a huge amount. Required cooling is... Ooh, are we spot on? Ah, no, right, okay, so it was just setting it to the required cooling. Let's give it a little... We have got plenty of cooling, thankfully. Let's give it a little bit more so that we can stick in a whole heap of brake cooling, because we're going to want that. Seats, 2. Sport seats in here. None. I guess we'll have some standard stuff in there. We want as sportiness as possible, which I guess is going to be standard in all of this, because yeah, there's a more comfort orientated. So gas tube, passive, presets, of course, is going to have to be set to race. Should we give it a little bit more camber? It tends to track towards massive understeer, which is surprising, all things considered. Make the car as low as possible. In fact, all the changes I just did here were... Oh. Okay, so give it less camber, makes it... Oh, okay, there's like a sweet spot in terms of handling. It gets like 40 miles an hour and then just terrible understeer. It's not quite what I was expecting from the vehicle, I'll be honest. Top speed... Okay, so I think we've massively over-geared it. Gearbox. This one, yeah. 150. So it really gets 150. It's not. The speed is not there. The speed is not there in this car. I hate to say, I think my choice of body has been the downfall with this, because I am severely limited to what I can do in terms of engine. We can't really get a big enough engine to fit in the vehicle, and the only way to kind of go about it is to have... It's quite a torquey engine. I say it's quite a torquey engine. I probably built it wrong to be a torquey engine. Yeah, I mean, it's an okay amount of torque, up to 439. If I managed to tweak that a little bit better, I'm not actually sure. However, yeah, it's okay, but it's yeah, I think I might have done messed up with the body. It's just not a big enough shell to get the bits in it that we need. Well, there is our vehicle, just 9.7 miles to the gallon. Probably not the best for endurance racing, let's be honest. 152 miles an hour. It would not be very quick. This is 5.5 seconds to 60. It's pretty good. A pretty good 0 to 60 time. But yeah, it'll probably be all right at this sort of circuit. It's just not going to have the straight line speed to compete where it was initially designed for, unfortunately. Let's go and we'll just speed up some time to see what it reckons for a lap time in this car. It looks interesting, it looks wacky, and it would potentially work maybe at some other circuits, but in terms of the initial goal, running the car at Le Mans, this would be a failure. So 126.1 around here, around the Top Gear test track. That's not a terrible time. Not a terrible time from the car. And in terms of markets, there we go. Track premium, it's relatively good in Gasmere and Fruinia. It is a fairly decent, fairly strong competitiveness car in the track. It's almost a supercar in that one. Yeah, lightweight car designed for track racing and so on. I like it. I do like my my Tiger Shark. However, it is not quite there in terms of the engine. The engine is just not quite. I mean, it's kind of close. It's close in terms of figures, I think. Like power-wise, it's not that far down on the Ferrari or the GT40, but it is not aerodynamic enough. We don't have a big enough engine bay, so there we go. That, though, is going to be it for this video. I might have to come back and try this challenge again, try and be a little bit more successful, hopefully, with the vehicle. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.